way back when I was just a little bitty boy living in a box under the stairs in the corner of the basement of the house half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, anyway, back then life was going swell and everything was just peachy. Except, of course, for the undeniable fact that every single morning my mother would make me a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. A big bowl of sauerkraut every single morning. It was driving me crazy. So I said to my mom, hey Mom, what's up with all this sauerkraut? And my dear, sweet mother just looked at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. She leaned down next to me and she said, it's good for you. Then she tied me to a wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and forced me to nothing but sauerkraut until I was 26 and a half years old. Have you ever had something super crazy happen in your life and then said to yourself, this will all make sense someday? Well, this is certainly not that day, and this is certainly not that story. Listen to a tale of love, loss, snorkels, and weasels in Albuquerque by Al Yankovic. That's when I swore that someday I would get out of that basement and travel to a magical, faraway place where the air smells like warm root beer and the towels are oh so fluffy, where the strippers and miners play their ukuleles all day long, and anyone on the street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Well, let me tell you, folks, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true, because the very next day, a local radio station hosted a contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules on littered Nimoy's butt. I was off by 3, but I still won the grand prize. That's right, a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. I've never been on a real airplane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really amazing. Except that I had to sit between 2 large Albanian women with excruciatingly severe body odor, and the little kid at back of me kept throwing up the whole time, and the flight attendant ran out of Dr. Pepper and salted peanuts, and the in-flight movie was Biodome with Pauly Shore. Oh yeah, 3 of the airplane engines burned out. We went into a tailspin and crashed into a hillside, and the plane exploded in a giant fireball, and everybody died! Except for me. You know why? Because I had my tray table up and my seat back in the full upright position. Well, I crawled from the twisted, burning wreckage. I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 full days, dragging along my big leather suitcase, my garment bag, and my 12-pound bowling ball, and my tenor saxophone, and my lucky autographed glow-in-the-dark snorkel. But finally I arrived at the world-famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn, where the towels are so fluffy and you can eat your soup right out of the ashtrays if you wanna. It's okay, they're clean. Well, I checked into my room and I turned down the Sprechtivision, and I'm about to eat that little chocolate mint on my pillow that I love so very, very much, when suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Well, now, who could that be? I say, who is it? There's no answer. Who is it? They're not saying. Who is it? They're not saying. So I go over and I open the door, and it's just as I suspected. It's some big fat hermaphrodite with a flock eagle's haircut and only 1 nostril. Oh man, I hate it when I'm right. But anyway, he bursts into my room and he grabs my lucky snorkel. And I'm like, hey, you can't have that. That snorkel's made just like a snorkel to me. And he's like, tough. And I'm like, give it. And he's like, make me. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed his leg and he grabbed my esophagus. I bit off his ear and he chewed off my eyebrows. I took out his appendix and he gave me a colonic irrigation. Yes, indeed, you better believe it. And somehow, in the middle of all that, the phone got knocked off the hook. And 20 seconds later, I heard a voice. You know what it said? I'll tell you what it said. It said, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and dial your operator. Well, to cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel. But I made a solemn vow right then and there. I would not rest. I would not sleep for an instant until the 1-nostriled man was brought to justice. First, I decided to buy some donuts. So I got in my car and I drove over to the donut shop. And I walk up on the guy behind the counter. And he says, yeah, what do you want? You got any glazed donuts? No, we're out of glazed donuts. You got any jelly donuts? No, we're out of jelly donuts. You got any Bavarian cream-filled donuts? No, we're out of Bavarian cream-filled donuts. You got any cinnamon rolls? No, we're out of cinnamon rolls. You got any apple fritters? No, we're out of apple fritters. You got any bear claws? No. Wait a minute, I'll go check. No, we're out of bear claws. Well, in that case, what do you have? All I got right now is this 1 box of 1 dozen starving crazed weasels. Okay, I'll take that. So he hands me the box and I open it up, and immediately these fleshing weasels jump out and latch on my face. Oh man, they were just going nuts. You know, I think it was about that time that a little ditty started going through my head. I think it went a little something like this. Ah, get him up, get him up. Oh no, get him up, get him up. Ah, help, help, get him up, get him up. Ah, oh, get him up. Ah, ah. So I ran out in the street, these fleshing 1,000 weasels on my face. Just running, like a constipated wiener dog. And as luck would have it, that's when I ran into the girl of my dreams. Her name was Zelda. She was a calligraphy enthusiast with a slight overbite and hair the color of strange pizzas. I'll never forget the first thing she said to me. She said, "Hey, you've got weasels on your face." That's when I knew it was true love. We were inseparable after that. We ate together, we bathed together. We even shared the same piece of mint-flavored dental floss. The world was our burrito. So we got us a house and we got married and we had two beautiful children, Nathaniel and Superfly. We were so very, very happy. But we were so very, very happy. But then one fateful night, Zelda said to me, she said, "Sweetie Pumpkin, do you want to join the Columbia Record Club?" And I said, "Whoa, hold on, no, baby. I'm just not ready for that kind of a commitment." So we broke up and I never saw her again. But that's just the way things go in Albuquerque. Anyway, things really started looking up for me because about a week later, I finally achieved my lifelong dream. That's right, a part-time job at the Sizzler. I even got Employee of the Month after I put out that grease fire with my face. I was getting a lot of attitude after that. Everybody was pretty jealous of me. Okay, like one time, I was out in the parking lot trying to remove my excess earwax with a golf pencil when I see this guy, Marty, trying to carry a big old sofa up the stairs all by himself. So I say to him, "Hey, you want me to help you with that?" He's like, "No, I want you to cut off my arms and legs with a chainsaw." So I did. And then he gets all angry on me. He was like, "Hey man, I was just being sarcastic." Well, that's just great. How was I supposed to know that? Besides, now he's got a really cute nickname. Torso Boy. So what's he complaining about? Anyway, where was I? I kinda lost my train of thought there. Well, I know this is kind of a roundabout way of saying it, but I guess the whole point that I'm trying to make here is I hate sauerkraut. That's all I'm really trying to say. And by the way, if you happen to wake up one day and find yourself in an existential quandary full of loathing and self-doubt and racked with the pain and isolation of your pitiful and meaningless existence, at least take some comfort in knowing that somewhere out there in this crazy old mixed up universe of ours, there's still a place called Albuquerque.